The decisions you make on a daily basis will influence the quality of life you will lead. Most of those decisions are pretty mundane, but from time to time we encounter a very difficult decision. How to handle those sometimes really difficult situations is what I want to talk about with you today. And I will share with you the 5 best tips on this topic, so let's go. What's up everybody, this is Alex. I'm happy you tuned in today to my, third day out of 30. So I want to record a video every day in English for 30 days. And in the last video, I told you to post your questions or your topic requests for this channel down below in the comments. And Jonas actually did this and he wrote this: if I may make a video about exactly this topic, how to handle difficult decisions, the art of making difficult decisions. And here it is. Let's go right into tip number 1. Think long term, not short term. Let's face it, we're gonna be on this earth for quite a long time. 80 years, 90 years, maybe 100 years, maybe even more. Our life expectancy just rises every year. So especially in terms of difficult decisions, we should take this factor into account. How will this affect me? Not just for now, not just for the next month or 6 months, but for the next year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 or 20 years. You probably have a vision for your life or goals that you want to achieve in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years or even longer than that. So with every bigger or even smaller decision, think about how this decision will affect your life plan, your life vision or your bigger goals. Think beyond the moment or the life situation that you find yourself in right now and think about how this decision will maybe alter your path towards your goals. A very interesting thing to keep in mind in terms of long-term thinking is the first degree result and the second degree result. Let me explain. Every action you take and every decision you make has not just one result, but actually 2 results. Interesting, right? Let's say you eat a Snickers or some other unhealthy candy bar. The first degree result is, it tastes good, it feels good, you get this sugar high. That's the first degree. But the second degree result that will have its effect way later is that you may become overweight. In the worst case, you may even get diabetes. Of course, that's quite an extreme example, but imagine you eat the Snickers bar every day. This will have a long-lasting effect. In the short term, it may feel good, but in the long term, it has the exact opposite effect. Let's turn this example on its head. Maybe in the short term you decide, you know what, I'm not gonna eat the Snickers, I'm gonna eat a healthy snack, or I'm even gonna eat a salad. It may not taste as good, it may not give you this great feeling, this sugar high, but the second degree result that will kick in later is way better, way healthier, and will give you way better result over a long period of time. So in terms of difficult decisions, always think long term and think about the first degree and second degree result of your action. Tip number 2, consider the complete opposite. Even if it is a very difficult decision, most of the time we have some kind of mental bias that we lean towards. So to get out of this confirmation bias, talk with somebody or ask somebody who has a completely different worldview, political view, mindset, background, education, just to get a completely different opinion on this. Like this, one of 2 things will happen. Number 1, either you will encounter this opposite worldview and you will notice, you know what, this is kind of not what I want. I'll stick with option A. Or number 2, you will of course encounter this opposite worldview and you will notice, there are points that I didn't take into consideration before, so you know what, I will change my mind. I will not take option A, I will take option B. It may be that the person will give you new facts or new angles to look at the decision at hand, or it will just get you out of your bubble that you are always in your same thoughts, your same habits, your same mental routines, and the person will just break you out of it and suddenly you see, oh wait, why did I make this so complicated? It's actually pretty easy which decision I have to make. So just by talking to somebody else who has a completely different view or just an outside opinion, you might find that the decision will become much easier. Which leads us to tip number 3. Take into consideration your decision-making fatigue. Like our willpower, the ability to make good decisions will decrease during the day. When we wake up in the morning, we have 100% of our willpower and we have 100% of our decision-making ability. However, over the day, we have to make certain decisions. We have to use our willpower because we need some discipline, or we have to get some difficult tasks done. And during the day, in the afternoon, in the evening, our resources will be depleted. So don't make difficult decisions during the late afternoon or evening or whenever you already have a lot of decision-making fatigue, because during the day you already made a couple dozen of conscious decisions which depleted your mental resources. By the way, some studies show that we can only make around 70 conscious decisions per day, which is, when we look at it, not that much. It means most of what we do during the day is just out of habit or works on autopilot. And autopilot is the cue for our next tip, which is cut down on your conscious decision making and set as much as you can on autopilot. Steve Jobs is the perfect example for this. He always used to wear the same clothes. Why? So he doesn't need to make a new decision every morning, what am I going to wear today? Because this will fatigue his brain. You can do the same thing in your life. Just look at certain decisions or certain things that you do over and over again and, well, just set a new standard which you will always follow. You can also wear the same clothes every day or limit your clothing choices to maybe 3 to 5 outfits. You can eat the same dinner or lunch every day or in the same restaurant. Or if you're in a new restaurant, just ask the waiter what he or she would recommend so you don't have to deplete your resources. Or that's what friends are for. Just tell your friends to make the decision. You decide where we're going to eat, you decide what we're going to eat, you decide when we're going to meet, where we're going to meet, and which movie we're going to watch. You can also call it outsourcing your decision making. Let's face it, these are not life or death decisions. These are mostly mundane day-to-day decisions that you, well, don't need to do over and over again. They will just deplete your resources unnecessarily. Which brings us to tip number 5, respect your decision. What do I mean with that? Well, have you ever been in the situation that you made a decision and right after you asked yourself, oh, what if I would have taken the other one? What if I would have made the other decision? You are questioning your decision over and over and over again. This won't help at all. You made a decision, so stick to it. And if you notice after a couple of weeks or month that it was a bad decision, well, then just make another decision to change it. But in the meantime, take the mindset of a satisfizer instead of a maximizer. The difference between those two is pretty simple. The maximizer always tries to get the best decision possible. He looks at all the facts, all the data, and analyzes, but won't get any closer to a good decision because he will get paralyzed. The satisfizer, however, thinks about decision making more as, well, getting satisfaction. He looks at a decision that needs to get made, gets all the facts, all the data, maybe analyzes a little bit, but then ultimately makes a decision and is satisfied with it and doesn't ask himself, oh shit, what if I would have taken option B instead of option A? What if? The what if thing, man, this will kill you. Don't do it. Make a decision and stick to it. And if it was a bad decision, well, then I want to tell you a short story about an old military general. I can't really remember where I heard this story, but the story goes that somebody asked a very, very famous general how he's so amazing in making good decisions. You know what he said? Well, you know, the quicker I make a decision, the quicker I know if it was the right decision or not. If it was the right decision, great. If it was the wrong decision, then I can correct it way quicker. There's no use in just sitting there and analyzing. Just make the decision. And with this, you have 5 amazing tips how to handle difficult decisions. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and if you have a question or a topic request that you want me to cover on this channel, well, leave a comment down below. I read them all, I answer them all, and then you may appear in the next video, which will appear tomorrow, because new video every day, and I will see you there. Bye.